currently sitting at a 154. Took a correction about an hour to an hour and a half earlier. Not too bad considering that the insulin is really starting to kick in now. 1 unit drops me about 60 milligrams per deciliter, so I should be down between 110 and 120 pretty shortly here. Working pretty good. Had some other stressors this morning, but if you don't know why I'm drinking coffee in a coon mug, my mom is obsessed with raccoons. If you didn't watch like the aneurysm video, she's obsessed with raccoons, so this is a cute little coon mug. This is my 3rd day of having black coffee about an hour and a half to 2 hours after breakfast to see how it impacts my blood sugar for an upcoming video for you guys. So I have a caffeine experiment coming up, so look forward to that. So if you see me casually sipping on coffee during this T1D with Maddie, episode 6, please don't mind that, and please understand why I'm doing it. I'm normally not a coffee drinker, so I had to add a little bit of stevia in here. But stevia has no carbs, no sugars, nothing that, no fat or protein that can affect blood sugar. So let me take another sip here, and we'll start today's video. Hey everyone, it's Maddie. Welcome back to my channel. And as you probably could tell by the title of today's video, for T1D with Maddie, episode 6, I'm going to delve into flu shots, their importance to diabetics, my opinion on the flu shot, and kind of their importance if you are diabetic, to get one, not to get one, my experiences with the flu, etc., etc. So, first of all, I've had the flu 2 times in my life. I had it when I was 4 years old, and I was unvaccinated, and I had it just this past March, but I was vaccinated. The strain either mutated, or the shot or the vaccine was not strong enough to cover a 2nd round of influenza A, which is what we had go through our house. And that is my 2 experiences with the flu. I do say, however, with the flu shot, my recovery time and my symptoms that I experienced were much more mild. They weren't as severe. I wasn't down for a long period of time. So I definitely believed having the flu shot can help aid in some symptoms. So, for those of you who don't know what a vaccine is, a vaccine basically is a dead form of a virus and or bacterial infection, depending on what kind of vaccine it is, and it's basically injected into your muscle, typically in your arm or your thigh, and they can even do it into your gluteus, which is your butt muscles, and it is injected, like I said, it's like a serum that is typically a dead virus or a dead bacterial infection that your body recognizes as foreign. And instead of getting the actual illness and building antibodies to protect yourself against it for future use, your body will still make those same antibodies in response to a form of the virus or bacteria that is dead and not able to get you sick or give you symptoms. So vaccines have been around for a long time. They've been a great way to boost immunity without actually getting the actual virus or bacterial infection. So that if you do come in contact in the future with that particular virus, with that particular bacteria, you're not going to get it. Now, the flu shot has to be given every single year because the flu virus mutates. When I mean by mutate, they change their genetic code. They change how they attack inside the bodies of its hosts, like humans, and there's even bird flus and pig flus and different types of flus for dogs and cats. Basically, it changes its genetic code so that when it enters the host's or old antibodies or old immune system cannot fight off that particular virus. So that is why every single year we have to get flu shots. Because typically every flu season or every year, the virus for the influenza A, B, and the other ones that they vaccinate us for mutate. And typically when they do vaccinate for the flu, they vaccinate for 4 different viruses. I know A and B are one of them. I'm not sure what the other 2 are. Again, I will leave links to the CDC and or Mayo Clinic or WebMD. Those are usually pretty good resources and accurate information as far as looking up things on vaccines. So do I get the flu vaccine? Absolutely. I am 100% pro-vaccine. First of all, I'm going to be a healthcare professional. For those of you that have just joined my channel or don't know much about me, I am studying to be a dental hygienist, which are the people that clean teeth, give x-rays, and basically is keep the plaque off your teeth, keep your teeth healthy. Those are the people that clean your teeth 1 to 2 times a year, depending upon your coverage and depending upon what is recommended with your dentist and your oral health. So I was required for my program and to be a dental hygienist, I had to have proof that I had MMR, which is measles, mumps, rubella vaccine. I've had to have hepatitis B vaccines, tetanus, diphtheria, and pertussis. They didn't require I have the flu, but the flu shot, require you have the flu. They didn't require that I have the flu shot, but they highly, highly recommended it. And I know nurses, doctors, and anybody else that works in the medical facilities, not specifically the dental side of medicine, but the medical side of medicine, like everything else but the mouth, I know that they recommend, or I do believe, at least in my healthcare clinic, they require that the nurses, the doctors, the assistants get vaccinated for the flu, unless they have some sort of extenuating circumstances like an allergy, or it puts them in anaphylactic shock or something of that sort, where getting the flu shot poses more of a risk to them than actually receiving it. Like I said, I am pro-vaccine. Typically, people that are against vaccines have wrong information, or they don't understand what a vaccine is. They used to be live, meaning the virus or the bacteria used to be actually living, so you could get a little bit sick from it, but that is not the case anymore. The CDC and all the other different organizations that promote quality healthcare standards in America today don't allow for many vaccines anymore to be live. They are not live, meaning that they are completely dead. And the flu shot is one of those vaccines. So if you do get the flu shot, you're not going to get the flu. You will not get sick from it. The only thing that could happen to you is having an allergic reaction, and obvious things like having a little bit of soreness at the injection site, potential redness or swelling, and that is everything from to do with them piercing a needle inside your body. That's no different than us type 1 diabetics that give ourselves subcutaneous insulin injections. Every time you do that, there's always that risk for infection or a little bit of redness or irritation at the injection site. That is a possibility. That is nothing that is going to hurt you, but you do know, for those of you that take synthetic insulin, obviously we need to take it. Otherwise, our health is in serious risks, and our odds for getting diabetic complications increase drastically. So as a pro-vaccine person, I highly believe that the flu shot is safe and not dangerous. Now, the only reason I can see somebody not getting the flu shot is if they have a severe genetic condition or a medical condition that causes them to be allergic to the ingredients in the flu shot. However, if you are allergic to eggs, I do know that they can make special flu vaccines that are not preserved in egg material, so that you don't have to worry about getting an allergic reaction from the preservative of the shot and not the actual vaccine itself. So there are other options out there. Please talk to your doctor about that. Don't rely on herd immunity. That basically means that you're relying that most people will get the shot, so you don't have to worry about getting it. That's not the case. And vaccines do not cause autism, people. That was a totally false study with the MMR vaccine way back in the early 2000s. I'll leave the link down below to what my microbiology professor showed us. It was a totally falsified study where they made it look like the autistic kid got autism from the vaccine, because all they did was took non-autistic, non-vaccinated kids and threw it up against one autistic kid that was vaccinated with MMR. They didn't throw it up against vaccinated autistic kids, non-vaccinated autistic kids, nor did they throw it up against vaccinated non-autistic kids. There was no double group study, if that makes sense. They didn't have non-autistic and autistic with the vaccine, nor did they have non-autistic and autistic without the vaccine. So they didn't have that double kind of standard where you have the non-autistics and the autistics with the vaccine and the non-autistics and the autistics without the vaccine, if that makes sense. So they didn't have that kind of double study. So it was a totally poor science experiment, poor study, poor experiment, whatever you want to call it. So it is not true. I don't believe vaccines cause autism. I believe autism is caused by genetic factors and potential environmental triggers and or environmental factors about how you're living in an environment in a home, how you're raised, and potential previous family members that have the condition. It's no different than a lot of other genetic conditions like type 1 diabetes or MS or ALS or Huntington's. I'm just thinking of different ones off the top of my head. So like I said, don't rely on herd immunity. And for herd immunity to even be somewhat decent, we have to have 90 to 95%. You need to have 90 to 95% of people actually get the vaccine in order for you to be protected if you don't decide to get vaccinated. That being said, I cannot force you to go out and get shots, and I cannot change any rooted beliefs that you believe in. I'm simply saying what I think is my thoughts on it. Again, what I think and believe may be totally different than what you think and believe, and that's okay. This is America. This is your choice to do what you would like to do for your health and your children's health and whatever the case may be, but do know that I will be vaccinating my children just as I was vaccinated myself as a kid. My mother never ever had the flu vaccine in her life, and now that she's had the experience with the actual influenza A, she says, I'm going to be the first in line no matter what anybody says to get that flu shot this year. To her, it's not worth going through the flu, but a little tiny prick in the arm is not that big of a deal compared to other things. And I think that's very true with a lot of other older diseases. We almost had measles and mumps completely killed and eliminated off the face of the earth, and now it's coming back because there are certain groups of people that are refusing to vaccinate their children. The same with any other disease like smallpox. That is almost totally eliminated because of the vaccines that they had given out back when my mother was a child in the 60s and 70s. Same with polio. When polio vaccines came out in the 50s, we basically were able to pretty much eliminate polio. And I know most kids when they're younger, I know, like, I look at back at my records when I was a little itty bitty baby, before I remember anything, I had polio shots. And everybody's getting those now, and you don't hardly hear of the word polio anymore. You don't hear of people getting polio because we've wiped it out with everybody getting protected from a vaccine. So like I said, I cannot force you to change your opinions or beliefs on vaccines or the flu vaccine in this particular situation and video, but I can encourage you what I think is correct, and do not hate me or put false things on me or hurt me because I'm sharing what I think is true. I'm trying to help you guys and give you guys my honest opinions and all the facts that I have read and learned on this topic. That is the goal of T1D with Maddie episodes. And like I said, it's not flu season, but this might give you some ideas preparing for the upcoming flu season this fall and the following winter, 2019, 2020-ish time frame. So I think I said every single thing on the vaccine. Like I said, if the only reason I can see somebody not getting it is if they have a severe genetic condition or a severe allergy to any preservative or any amount of thing in that actual vaccine that they cannot get it. Then they themselves have to rely on herd immunity. They themselves have to rely on herd immunity, hoping that anywhere from 90 to 95% of the people within their region or within their country will vaccinate to kind of protect them. But just so you know, if you are unvaccinated and you come across some sort of virus and you didn't get vaccinated for it, your odds of getting it are much higher than somebody who is vaccinated. Now, I did get the flu shot this year. I did get the flu. That being said, vaccines aren't 100% foolproof methods. I would say they're probably 85 to 90% good for the most part. But there's that little slight chance that you're going to end up with it. And most of the time it happens because the virus either mutates or the actual vaccine that they gave at the beginning of the season was not strong enough to last like the second round or the second comeback of the actual virus. So that's what happened this year in my particular area in Wisconsin. I am not sure if this happened across the United States, but I know in my particular area it did. So I would assume there are probably similar instances around the United States. But despite that, my recovery time was much shorter because I had the vaccine. My mother's recovery time was like 5 days. Mine was 2. So because I was vaccinated several months prior to me actually contracting the flu, my symptoms, my recovery, my ability of feeling poor, or the actual time I spent feeling poorly was quite a bit reduced. So even though I got the flu, I'm still going to continue to get the flu shot because it's going to help me in the future to not get the flu as much. Or if I do get that particular virus or bacterial infection, whatever the shot is, it's going to be very mild and it's not going to really impact me. Or it may just give me some symptoms, but I'm not going to feel like crap, if that makes sense. I might get, like with measles, you get the rash, but you don't have the fever or whatever. So there's definitely benefits to vaccines, and I cannot stress that enough. But again, what you think is going to be way different than what I think. So I hope you enjoyed T1D with Maddie, episode 6. As always, if you have controversial topics that have to do with revolving around type 1 diabetes, please leave them down below. If you are a type 1 diabetic, they do consider you, at least at my doctor's office, even though you're not like immunosuppressed, they do consider you like higher priority over someone without diabetes to get the shot, just because you guys know when you get sick with type 1 diabetes, it makes us feel worse because our blood sugars go really high or really low and we feel like crap. So they will put you at a higher priority list to get the vaccine early or to get the vaccine more quickly than somebody else without the condition. So I don't consider myself immunosuppressed. I don't consider myself more likely to contract certain viruses or colds. They just do that so that they can get people with conditions like type 1 diabetes access to the vaccines. So continue to leave suggestions. Like I had said previous, I'm open to anything. I'm talking about a lot of different things on my channel, and I hope my honesty and my vulnerability has really shown through and has really helped a lot of you. I can see that from some of the comments that I'm really helping a lot of people, and you know how that touches my heart and it means the world to me. Stay tuned for June 1st, 2019 for T1D with Maddie episode 6. This is T1D with Maddie episode number 5 for the month of May. I don't know if I said month 6. Oops. I'm sorry, but look forward to June. I'm having a really good one come out in June. Not like they're not all good, but we're going to get lots more information rolling for you guys. So until for my next bonus video, if I come out with one, or until the end of this week for the regularly scheduled videos, take care, God bless, be kind, spread positivity, and be thankful. Bye.